Guys, deluded man, back again. Now, obviously, later on, oh, no, that don't make no sense. Earlier on today, one of you guys Snapchatted me and you told me about, you asked me to speak about Jermaine Pennant. I had no clue of what you lot were talking about when you Snapchatted me that. But yeah, obviously now I've gone home, I've typed it in on Google, and I've seen that he's bringing out autobiography, and he's actually trying to, or he's either trying to, or he's going to be a contestant on a big celebrity Big Brother. But he was talking about his life. He's got a biography coming out, and he was talking in several parts about it. I've seen it. I don't know the context because I've seen it on the Daily Mirror, the Daily Mail, not to plug them, and all of these other newspaper articles. And he was speaking about his life. Now, for those who don't know Jermaine Pennant, it's an interesting story. I mean, he comes from Nottingham. Now, it don't matter if you're from Nottingham, parts of Manchester, Brum, London specifically, Tottenham, Brixton, Hackney, these predominant areas where there's Harlesden and in northwest London and Kilburn and Stonebridge and all them sort of sides there. It don't matter, or Bristol if I haven't already said it. These sort of sides or places, for those who don't know the slang I'm talking about, I don't want to say it's filled with poverty and stuff, because it is, but it's not like America to a degree, so we need to own that. But it's filled with, like, whether you want to or not, there's certain social pressures, and he fell succumb to it. We know Pennant came to Arsenal as a 14, 15, 16-year-old, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out for him, and some might say he didn't realise his potential and things like that. But when you consider his upbringing, his run-ins with the law, and what could have been if he didn't make it as a footballer, yeah, he might not have reached his potential, but surely he's won at life. And this is what I say with a lot of players. You guys, I haven't got no specific examples, but you've seen me speak about this. Okay, the story that's been written might be different from in the sense that what they've actually achieved in their career might be different from the projected narrative, but they've won. I mean, at 14 years of age, he's there in gang violence and things like that. A lot of what he said, sadly, without talking to you, I've actually experienced a lot of that, and I've actually seen it, and I'm sure many of you can as well. I mean, one thing I read about him, it was against Arsenal's wishes, but he rushed to his best friend's bedside after he was viciously attacked to see if he was cool. He also detailed being chased by a car when he was with girls and another guy, being chased by a car, and the car tried to crash them off the road. It was something like Grand Theft Auto, he said. There was a bloodbath, or more or less, outside a chicken shop where he could have been stabbed if he didn't run away or run behind the counter, whatever he said he did. One of his friends was actually once stabbed, and then they carved his name in their flesh, or the gang's name in their flesh. So yeah, man, it's at 35 years of age, he's actually got a lot to tell. Beneath the surface, people might just accept it, sadly, at face value as Pennant. He's a bad boy. He couldn't behave himself. He's been in prison. He's been on tag. He's a party boy, womanizer, all of these things, and that might be true, sadly. But I see a man who's won at life. Do I think he's reached his full potential? Of course not. But I see a man that's played for Arsenal, a man that's played for Liverpool, a man that's played for Portsmouth, a man that's had a good career and earned a lot, a man that's escaped. Obviously, he still had his run-ins with the law and things like that, and he's probably got a lot of these friends. But like you see with Andre Gray, Troy Deeney, a lot of players, he's escaped a certain sort of life, a certain sort of narrative that was written for him. We know in life, how many of you have seen, again, we need to own our mistakes, because at the end of the day, I mean, our choices, because we do things, but how many of you have seen, just generally speaking, talented people, but because of pressures of life or the environment or whatever, or they're having to defend themselves, they go a different way of life? That could have happened to Pennant if it wasn't for football, and this is why I'm a big fan of what football can do for people. And if you remember, you saw my video a few weeks ago, I want to bring people like this out of this society and get them into football, because for every Ravel Morrison, now Ranger, Jermaine Pennant, many other examples that people will say they're bad boys, they're this and that. Some of that might be true, but they've escaped a narrative that was going to be written for them that is not exactly a nice narrative. At the end of the day, they're earning money playing professional football, which is different from what they could have done. Again, we can't look for excuses and things like that. But it was a very good story. I'm very happy. It's not a good story, but I'm very happy that he come out and spoke about this. Like, it's sad, but a lot of what he was saying, like, I was getting memories back of what I've seen. Again, I've never been on the roads and a bad boy and all of this crap that I don't really care for people. But sadly, when you come from where I come from and you've got friends, and not that there's anything bad, but you're friends and you're going to parties, and when gangbangers come to your school and you're growing up with them in your football team, and obviously it's a lot of politics and stuff. Those who know what I'm speaking about knows what I'm speaking about, will know what exactly I'm talking about. So whether you're like me, a good you wants no trouble at at all. You find yourselves in some situations. So I can understand Jermaine Pennant, but also have to say that the company you keep is crazy, man. Like, the company you keep, that's one thing I learned as well. The company you keep can get you out of stuff. If you chill with 10 broke people, you'll be the 11th. If you chill with 10 rich people, you might stand a chance of being the 11th rich one. If you're the smartest person in, I used to think all of this crap was cliche, but if you're the one that stayed with me, if you're the smartest person in your friendship group or in a room, you're in the wrong room. That's one thing that changed my mind. In general, I was very ignorant as a teen. I wouldn't say I was mad ignorant. I could sit, depending on who you were, I could sit down and you could talk to me about certain things, and I would listen. And I was always willing to listen to opposite sides of the story from things, and I was always found myself naturally inclined to certain things. But by the same logic, I was hot-headed. I was ignorant as hell. Like, I wore my chest on my sleeve. Like, I'm short. My temper's even shorter by nature, to be honest. I don't offer no one out. I don't cause no problem. So when people F with me, like, I'm ready, in it. Like, I'm trained to go, as a lot of you would be. Like I said, I'm a good youth. I don't look for none of that. But growing up in North London, sadly, like, walking on the street, you can get into a madness. Because this has happened in my life. I have legitimately been walking down my road. Somebody's looking at me. I don't care for this eye stuff. Because, I've spoken about pride and all of these things. You're watching me because I'm sexy. I don't mind. I can air all of them screw things. But when people are like, oi, what are you saying? Where you from? Don't ask me where I'm from. If you like... Obviously, you can ask me where I'm from. Like, for the way I grew up, it's changed a bit. Because the way I grew up, only certain people could show off and ask these questions and do these things. And again, there's a time to be a lion and a time to be a fox. I have no problem shutting my mouth. It's certain guys that are just sick in their head and have passed their many stages to this sort of stuff. They can, by all means, man, will be quiet. But when I see neeks, I'm going mad. I'm sorry, I'm going mad. Not because I'm looking for trouble. It's like, I'm big on... Anyone who knows me knows I'm big on self-defense. Like, my children have to learn how to defend themselves. Or I believe you don't... my personal thing is, if someone tries to harm you physically or whatever, you try your best to mitigate the decision, the situation. You try to air it. You don't be throwing punches first, which my granddad told me. My granddad told me, don't start no fights, but if someone tries to trouble you, end that. And that's what I've done. I actually got excluded from my secondary school because someone tried to physically put their hands on me, and I effed them their shits up. And what did they tell my mum? Oh, DG went and did this, DG's that, DG this. And that's for another story, to be fair, man. But anyways, man, back to Jermaine Pennant. Like, I'm very happy he's come out with this. I can't wait to probably see his autobiography, because there's bound to have been a lot. Like he said, he actually said something which was interesting to me. He actually said people might say I haven't reached my full potential. They might be fully right. That's true. But by the same logic, what he's gone through, he could have escaped that. Obviously, even with being a footballer, he spent time in prison. He spent time on tag. He's had run-ins with the laws. He's had all these other things, headlines and stuff. But how much worse could it have been if someone along the lines gave up on him in this academy stuff? Again, I don't know. He hasn't detailed his life, so I'm only speculating at this point. But I'm guaranteed, if he's doing this at first team level, guaranteed when he was in the academy, there must have been times he's skiving off training, and forgive me if I'm wrong, or he's chilling with the wrong crowd, or certain things are going down which he finds himself from pillar to post. Because at the end of the day, they're still your friends. Like, they're still your friends. Like, they're still your friends. Like, they might be stabbing people, they might be doing all of this stuff, and obviously you have to remove yourself from that friendship circle immediately to elevate yourself as a person. But they're still your friends. You're still going to chat to them. And he's probably still talking to a lot of them now. So for the way he talked about it, I can do, like, the shootouts, the stabbings he's seen, the violence, the drugs, the prostitution. Like, it sounds like a good read. But it's sad that a man had to go through this in his life. And he is a winner at the end of the day, because he's able to have a life in professional football and accumulate earnings and stuff like that away from what could have been his path, which could have been, again, I'd like to think I hope he would have been stronger minded to find a job or find some sort of legit hustle. But you wouldn't like to think, but you'd think it'd be drugs, it would be guns, it'd be robberies, it would be all sorts of anarchy and devilish things you don't want to speak about. It's sad, man. That's one reason I want to get people out of the talented footballers out of these sort of situations, man. This is one thing I'm very passionate about. I'll never be a youth worker. I've got extreme admiration for youth workers, because it's extremely overworked, it's extremely underpaid, and you really have to love that job. And if I'm completely honest, that youth work specifically to London, to a degree, is counterproductive, at least for me anyways. I believe people should be looking at the primary school ages. I believe anything from secondary school to 30 years of age in regards to this senseless violence nonsense. In fact, I don't even call it senseless, because in their heads it's logical. They lost causes, because most people don't listen. Look at me, people. I had nothing to do with any of this crap. I was just a man that's lived in this and sadly been in the wrong places at the wrong times. But I was ignorant, a different sort of ignorant, but I was ignorant. Most people don't want to listen until it's too late. Most of these people that, for every one Pennant, most of his friends that are in jail for life or dead, they didn't want to listen. And people only want to listen when they got 30 years in a cell, they got no girls, friends ain't sending them no money, they ain't doing nothing with their life, and then they realise, oh, and sadly that's when man gets suicidal, and man that you rate, they want to kill themselves in the cells, and they're moving mad and stuff like that. It's no way to live. Anybody that doesn't fully understand these things is picking the wrong sort of things. And a lot of these issues come from people not wanting to be themselves and live their own truths and stuff like that, man. Why do you think people around my area leave me the hell alone? I know everyone because we played football, but they leave me the hell alone because they know I'm a stand-up dude. I just go home, I mind my business, and I see Neeks that I used to play football with that I've smacked up. I see them with these older guys that are saying, what you saying, DG, cool, and that. I see them, and I'm thinking, mate, I'm not built for that life, and I terrorized you when you tried it. So these mad youths, they're gonna destroy you, and I feel sorry for your mother, really and truly, because she didn't give birth to you and raise you for 18 plus years for you to be out there smoking a dead spliff and chatting shit. Come on now, there's more to life. There's more to life, bruv. There's more to life than a lot of things. But I'm going off topic. This is about Jermaine Pennant, man. Guys, deluded. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest, man. I'm out. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Yeah, man, I'm out.